welcome back to another session of the Hopry, and today I'm joined by Mr. Tim Pratt again.
Howdy.
How's it going, Tim?
Doing fairly well.
Good.
Excited that we get to share another beer together.
Yeah, and we're quickly approaching 200 reviews, so
getting there.
Yeah, it's coming up close, but it's actually been a while since I've been over to the T. Pratt Village, or the Hopry Dose, I think you once called it.
I think I called it that multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've let it go since then, I think.
It's probably for the best.
Either way, we're going to be reviewing probably one of our favorite joint styles tonight, which is the Saison. In fact, one time before when I was over here, we reviewed the regular Fantome Saison. We invite you to go back and watch that one. It was actually kind of funny. I think we described it as being a bit vomity. I'm really hoping that this one's not like that.
You know, vomity in the best of ways.
Yeah.
But vomity nonetheless.
Right.
You know, it was what it was.
It was what it was. Well, this is their Saison Printemps. It's a Saison, and it clocks in at 8%. This is a brewery that is from Soy, Belgium, like S-O-Y. I thought that was pretty interesting, Soy, Belgium. But, this brewery I found to be pretty fascinating in that they never really repeat the same recipe twice. Each bottle is kind of a different fingerprint, if you will. I guess the concept is generally the same, but the recipes do tend to vary. And I also wanted to point out that this is in the top 20 on Beer Advocate's list of Saisons. So really looking forward to trying this one.
Yeah, it's kind of cool though that, he doesn't use the same recipe because it really brings out the true artisanal nature of, an artisanal brewery. And these guys are tiny, they don't brew a lot of beers and, that really just tells you that they have the flavors and the profile as they want it.
Right.
For whatever they're trying to do that specific year, it's as they want it. And, it lends to some interesting things. It can also, lead to some things kind of having a bit of a odd fragrance. Yeah. But,
Well, a lot of people really look to those, traditional Belgian Saisons and sours to really kind of take on some of those, funky characters, which I'm imagining this one will. It does come in a green bottle, which people always talk about, why do they continue to put them in green bottles? I think in some ways it really kind of adds that character to it that they're trying to go for, which is that little bit of a funky note. As I've been sitting here talking though, I was looking at your beer too, and the head that we got off there from the initial pour is pretty much already dissipated, but really traditional color, for the style. For those of you out there, you can kind of see the color through this. It's that, really straw hay yellow color, hazy.
Yeah, very hazy. A little bit of lacing on the glass, so it's got some body to it. That's a good thing. But yeah, none of it seems to be out of whack from what you'd expect from a Saison. You just dove your nose in, so what do you do?
I dove my nose in.
Is that even a proper term?
You can dove.
Okay, I'm gonna dive my nose in.
Yeah, let's dove.
Let's dove.
Not too bad.
Lemony.
It is very lemony.
Yeah.
And I don't get as much skunk out of there as I thought I would. Typically you get that skunkiness right from the beginning. That little bit of CO2 that kind of collects in the top of the bottle usually kind of houses a lot of that skunkiness. And once you pour it, it opens up a little bit. And that, skunkiness starts to dissipate. But I'm not getting any of that. I'm really getting that Belgian yeast and that lemon juice.
And to say I almost pick up maybe a little bit of a kind of a sweet white wine.
Yeah. There is a little floral component to it that I'm really liking, almost like some, fresh flowers. Definitely the lemon. Clearly getting that Belgian yeast.
Yeah, it's got every bit of the funk you want in a Saison.
And it does have a little bit of an oakiness. You can tell that it's got some sort of barrel aging on it, but I believe it does. Well, if it doesn't, it smells like it does.
I actually think it smells pretty good.
Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
Cheers. I'm really getting a lot of lemon, and it's not just the lemon itself. it's kind of the lemon zest. You know how lemon zest is real, bright and citrusy, but it's got that really just straight bitterness underneath it.
With that, I'm getting a lot of just light grains too. In a lot of the darker beers that we'll review on the show, you get a lot of that tends to take more of kind of a toasted malty kind of flavor. In this one, you can really, and I don't know if you are, but I'm really getting just kind of a flavor of the grains that we're using here, which is just a very clean, almost kind of cereal kind of flavor that's just very faint in the background under some of that lemon.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about Saisons is they're supposed to be refreshing, right? And that's what this one is to me. It's really refreshing. I like the good amount of bitterness that you get in there. It's not, really heavily hopped. It's not like a Tank 7 or, something like that. But you can tell that there's a good amount of bittering hops in there. I love the fresh lemon, though. It's almost like lemon heads, You get that real clean, perfumey sort of lemon character. But, yeah, I actually really like this.
You really nailed it when you said refreshing. I mean, it's... finally starting to turn a little bit cooler outside, but it's still warm, and
we're still in the summer.
It's still summertime, here in KC, but this one really hits the spot as far as refreshing. I mean, for 8%, super drinkable. Yeah. There's no heat to it really at all.
Oh, it feels like a 5.5% Saison, which is really traditionally, I think, closer. They're usually around. We've seen them up, 8. They don't traditionally get over 8%, so. This is kind of on the higher end of the ABV, but I mean, to me, it really drinks like a 5 to 6% beer. It's real light, real refreshing, very clean with the execution. Barry Grass always talks about, flavor with a purpose and kind of a focus. And that really comes to mind on this beer. It seems very well focused, and it can only lead me to believe that we must have gotten a bad bottle of their regular Saison, because this is just light years ahead of that beer. While that one seemed more like a sour ale, this one really, it has a touch of that in there, but I think it's really, more in that Saison
You're not
category.
Having to fight through the flavor or fight through that kind of off aroma to get to what the beer's all about in this one. I mean, this one just tells you what it's all about right up front. It leaves nothing to the imagination. It's just really good, solid, and drinkable.
I like it.
Definitely.
Well, cool, man. Let's finish off this bottle, and maybe we'll do another review tonight to air at a different time, of course. But and we'll make sure we change our shirts so that you think we recorded these all on different nights. Yeah, we'll switch places, but we will move the Bears. That's very good. But anyway, really good beer. Definitely track it down if you can. If you're into the Saison style and you really kind of like the Belgian interpretations of them, because there are so many American Saisons these days, but I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right,
glad to have you guys back over here.
Yep. Well, thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.